And some people call me the fucking super fan of this franchise. So this is what the show. We are talking everything Mortal Kombat this tonight. We have possibly a few special guests coming in tonight.
We'll see what happens.
But we just played in, I think, well, probably someone's getting the weirdest introduction to this show. A new friend of ours, Mr. Danny Martinez. How we doing tonight?
Danny, hey, what's going on?
Buddy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited about tonight.
Nice, man. So, Danny, so tell us a little bit about you. You're new to the channel. I'm actually new to finding a little bit about you through the World Friends chat. Everybody, if you're not following the World Girls, by the way, do so immediately. But Danny, what's up?
Yeah, so I do a podcast called the Next Issue Podcast where we talk mainly comic books, but everything pop culture as well. Pretty much, as you can see, my studio, I'll call it, all pretty much decked out with comics, but that's my main thing. But I love anything genre, so like Mortal Kombat stuff with my co-host tonight here, Melina, right up my alley.
Nice.
Well, that's awesome. Man. So obviously AJ and I are Mortal Kombat super fans. We found Danny is a super fan. We have a couple of other people who might be showing up later in the night. No 100% promises, but we think it's going to happen. But we're going to talk about the new movie. We're going to talk about the previous two movies, the video games, the merchandise, the fandom, everything Mortal Kombat tonight. We're just going to celebrate the positivity of everything that Mortal Kombat has brought to the world. And I'm excited.
And Juice will be bringing in a fun perspective in which he's only seen the new movie. So to see how the new movie holds up with someone with basically very limited prior knowledge. And I'll be bringing in the perspective of Justice for Sonya. She finally got some comfy pants.
She got some
We know that's very important to me. I will be talking Mortal Kombat, and I'm not even that drunk. So I'm sorry to disappoint.
We'll work on that.
A drunk review of the new film will probably be coming soon because I have to finish.
It has to happen within the next 26 days because that's our window. So
yes, that is the reason we watch it on HBO Max. So I will get drunk and review it because I know people are probably dying to know my drunk thoughts.
Everyone wants, like, before what the show started. We had our channel during quarantine, and we did our drunk reviews, and everybody wanted to see those. I mean, you can still find them for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. We'll probably update those for this channel. I think we have to at this point. But everybody loves to hear Bethany's drunk reviews on Mortal Kombat.
It's a fan fave. Also, I'm just seeing my name in the chat for the first time, and I finally updated it to my new name, and that makes me happy.
Yes. Mike and Bethany celebrating a wedding at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
Almost a month now. It's almost a month now.
If you can make it 1 month, then it's real. That's what I've heard.
I want everyone to know that really the best thing that happened to him this month was Mortal Kombat coming out. I'd really like to say it was our wedding, but we all know the truth. We all know it was Mortal Kombat.
So let's give everybody a little bit of an introduction. Let's talk about what brought us to loving Mortal Kombat. Let's do this from top with Juice to Mike to Bethany to Danny, and then we'll just kind of. But yeah, let's go through and let's Juice.
Yeah.
What do you love about Mortal Kombat? What brought you to the franchise?
So I've been a diehard fan since day one. No, but I did play some of the games here and there with friends and whatnot. Nothing too crazy. I got big into like the barcade scene a few years ago, and so I got back into playing like tons of different arcade games. So I like Mortal Kombat is one of the games I tried playing a lot. Tried playing it not that long ago. It did not go well. Spent about $15, and I think I knocked out one guy. But yeah, I always wanted to see the movie. Yeah, it was a flawless.
It's very impressive that you spent $15. We'll talk about Streamlabs later. But
Yeah, segue.
Yeah. So I always known like even when getting into like being in like the movie fan space or whatever, like Mortal Kombat is the best video game movie, and it's always been on my list to see. I just have never got around to it. But then obviously my fandom is just osmosis or whatever has been osmosisized through just being
that's a word
with Mike and AJ so much that
JTE.
Well, we're gonna make this really clear for anybody watching right now. Justin the Juice has not seen either the 1995 Mortal Kombat or 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Right.
But he has seen
comes
the
in.
2021 Mortal Kombat now.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at my.
I brought every prop I could pull out.
That is fantastic.
Well,
but I do want to say,
like, no, we're gonna
right.
pull those out again.
There we go.
so
Yeah.
people can see.
There you go.
So this
There
is
you go. Now
this is a
we figured it
steelbook
out.
from Best Buy. I just got it. It's got both movies.
Nice.
Everything. This is the starter pack. Juice.
Is that 4K?
Yeah, I'll go.
I don't know that the movie goes that high.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to see that in 4K.
I do want to
In
see
the
it.
8K.
I want
dude.
to watch it.
Yeah.
I want to watch it in 4:3, and I want like scratch lines on it, like my VHS was worn out.
Nice.
I want it in
Scratch
4:3 because that's how the original director envisioned the film.
That was intended.
Let's
With a scratch print.
Yep.
But what I do want to say is I'm forgetting about the key part of the Mortal Kombat fandom, which I may or may not have just demonstrated. The song has always been a workout tune. Like that,
Such
hearing
a
that is
That
like,
song is
my favorite part of Mortal Kombat.
yeah, that's
you're
what gets me
talking
going.
one of the most iconic songs of all time, and this
Yep.
literally ranks up with some amazing movies. Like this might be the best theme song on a non-Academy Award-winning movie of all time.
wait. Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On, or
Won an
Techno
Academy
Syndrome, or Techno Syndrome.
I go Techno Syndrome.
Do you think it's more iconic today?
I'm gonna say
Oh,
I think the
right
Mortal
now?
Kombat theme is way more
it
iconic.
held
than My Heart Will Go
up
On.
way better.
Celine Dion doesn't have enough snare in her song.
Exactly.
That's right. I like
Exactly.
it. You got this right.
And not enough yelling, not enough introducing characters' names.
Not enough echoes.
Like that.
Could you imagine though?
I'm really here
If
for
you
it.
Test your
started
mic.
screaming
You never
out
said test
characters'
your mic.
names for the chorus?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I have
wonder-
somebody
Jack,
remixes this
Dawson,
now.
Rose, Bukater DeWitt,
Billy Zane.
and Billy Zane. No one remembers his name in that movie. It's just Billy Zane.
The quartet.
Are we going to get another copyright
We're
strike
not-
for Titanic this week? Should we make that a no what the show tradition?
For those who don't know, during our video game
I
movie stream,
wonder-
we got our first copyright strike.
And not for a video game movie, but
Because
for
we-
Titanic.
We watched the alternate version ending of Titanic.
And I'm going to say it was 100% worth it.
Worth it.
But Juice, carry on
So-
with your introduction to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but I mean that's pretty much it. So just
So, yeah.
obviously being a fan, but like I know the reference, like whenever there's a reference in the new movie, like with like the one-liners, like I
Like
picked up on
flawless.
most of those. Like yeah, like I'm a pretty familiar fan. I wouldn't say I'm totally.
You know,
new,
through
but
pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yes,
Mike,
most besides it.
Mike, the resident, everybody recognizes you as just you are the face of Mortal Kombat. That is
True.
And ridiculous thing is I shouldn't be because I haven't played any video games since 4. But
Yeah.
still, like Mortal Kombat for me, like I'm the right age that first video game hit me at the right time. You know, I was 10, not even, I think it was earlier than you. So I was 9 years old when that first video game hit our, arcades. And that video game was the biggest game changer of anything in my life. Like not just video games, just that game changed my lifestyle. And everyone remembers when that game came out because of how much you were not supposed to play it. Like, if you were a kid, that game was forbidden fruit. And for that reason, everyone wanted to play it. And then it comes out on the consoles, and Super Nintendo super edits it. But then everybody needed to buy that damn Sega Genesis because you got the full version. If you knew the blood code, which was ABACABB, you got that full fucking game on the console, and it was so much better. Even though
what did they say it was that was spilling out of the characters in the console version for SNES? What was it?
What? Say it again.
When they had the stuff that was spilling out of the characters on SNES, on Super Nintendo, what did they say it was?
It was like sweat, right?
It was sweat, but it totally looked like jizz.
I thought it was like that Nickelodeon goo or something.
Yeah,
I wish they had the.
You could
balls
have colored
to do green.
sweat if you knew like certain ways to change it within the game, but you never.
Who sweats red is my.
They didn't have red sweat. That was not an option.
Jesus sweat blood for you.
It wasn't an option. But that Sega Genesis version was the shit. If anybody remembers it back in the day,
Jesus wasn't a playable character in mine.
Yeah, but like. So from that point forward, you had that game, and then Mortal Kombat 2 comes out, and it's Mortal Kombat on steroids with more characters, more gore, more fatalities, and Super Nintendo had to steer to the skid because the second game on Super Nintendo was the full version without very little compromise on that.
Can we all just, for one brief moment, pause? He keeps getting closer. This is how excited he is.
Yeah.
That he is on top of the screen at this point. Hi everyone, we're here to talk about Mortal Kombat.
So that
too much.
So Mortal Kombat 2 comes out, and then 95, the movie gets announced, and here's little 12-year-old me at this point in 95, and the movie gets announced.
These were 90s 12-year-olds. They were all about 3'4", about 67 pounds dripping wet. That's what 12-year-old looked like in the 90s. Just for anybody who's watching.
Those people who were not 12 in the 90s.
And then that trailer,
juice.
The first trailer comes out, and the first part of the trailer is kind of like, and then the second part of the trailer has the damn song in it, and it uses the trailer to introduce the characters, and from that point of the trailer on, you're sold. And then that movie came out, and I went and saw it at midnight. Yes, it's been well established. I saw that movie. My father, who's in the chat right now, took me to see this movie at midnight, and it was one of the greatest theater-going experiences, not just me, but anybody in the history of ever is going to have. Because the Mortal Kombat midnight screening had the greatest crowd I think I've ever been in a movie theater with, because everybody was on board with everything that happened. And sure, it wasn't like the super gory version we got right now, but that movie was a masterpiece of what it was supposed to be. It took the lore of the movies, and yes, Scorpion and Sub-Zero were not the greatest, but you watched that movie and you were just fist pumping the entire time. You were so excited. You were so happy to be watching it. And that, to me, is why that movie is, to date, the greatest Mortal Kombat movie of all time. We're going to talk about the new one, which I very much liked, but to date, my favorite.
Nice.
We didn't even talk about the novelization.
All right, let's talk about the novelization.
No. We're doing introductions.
David Toronto also had.
I feel like it doesn't translate as well. There's no theme song.
Exactly. If
theme
there's
song
no
in
I'm
books.
not into it. I'm sorry.
So Bethany, what's your introduction to the franchise? What made you fall in love with it?
Into my origin story, with Mortal Kombat, which, like many things in life, I can both think and also be like, screw you to Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy for, which was that during quarantine, we, like many other people, are watching lots of streams.
So many streams.
We obviously are big fans of Action Guys streams, and they were discussing Mortal Kombat, which was when I think for the first time it was something I'd heard him discuss before. He talked about how Annihilation was really bad, but I've never really gotten into the lore of anything. I also have never in my life played Mortal Kombat, the video game. So sorry, everyone, but I've never played it. Anyways, so we were watching this, and I have never seen him get so excited for Ben and Drew to like discuss a movie ever. Like he was so excited. Like he was at one point, I think in the chat I said this, and Andrew Guy like discussed it on stream. He was like literally pacing around the room. He was so excited. And I was like, I don't understand. And like everyone in the chat was so excited, and like Ben and Drew were so excited, and he was most all excited. And then he's telling me about this guy Art Lean that he knew from the novelization. He's also in the movie, but very briefly. And I was like, I have never seen either of these movies. I've never played the game. I am stuck in this 1-bedroom apartment with you for the foreseeable future. Let's get drunk and watch it. And we did. And we reviewed it, and the review went over very well with people. A lot of people enjoyed me and how much I loved the song, and enjoyed screaming out Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
Yeah, like that. And then we watched Annihilation, which is not as good, but I do thoroughly. This is a fun drinking game. Don't try this at home, kids. But if you take a drink every time they say the word animality, you will be drunk by the end of it. They say it a lot. I think it's a very funny word. I enjoy it. So there were some points of Annihilation that I enjoyed. And then, yeah, and I've seen the most recent movie. So I've seen all 3 movies. I have listened to this guy next to me talk about them a lot. So yeah, so really, you know, like I said, both thank you and screw you, Ben and Drew, for bringing this into my life.
Nice. That's so cool. That's part of this film fan community, and that it's like that's where you learn to love the franchise. Yeah. I definitely want to. If you guys don't have a modern game console, like we need to get you one in like a capture card so we can like do a commentary of you guys playing the modern Mortal Kombat games.
If you want to buy a video game console, I'm all about it.
That's entirely a different story.
That'll be next month's Streamlabs.
So
all goes to us getting a PS5.
So Danny,
I don't even know how to remotely play it, but I'd be willing to try for people's.
You're a new guest for the channel.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, you and I connected because we were both Mortal Kombat super fans. What brought you into Mortal Kombat? What made you love the franchise?
So much like, you know, a lot of people in the 90s, I also had a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I played, I think it was the second game, because I remember there was more than 8 characters.
Yeah, it had to be the second one then, yeah.
Yeah. And then my cousin gave me this magazine that had a cheat code for all the 1-button fatalities.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, maybe it was Mortal Kombat 3, because I don't know, whatever.
That sounds correct, actually, with the 1-button fatalities.
Because it had the friendships and babality and all that stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like 3.
Well, babality was 3.
I just love how 90s that statement was. My cousin gave me a magazine.
Yeah.
For all.
Was it Electronic Gaming Monthly? Was it?
You know, I don't remember. I do remember I still had that magazine in high school, and I cut out a picture of Shang Tsung and put it in my ID instead of my face. So that magazine lasted a long time. But
nice.
But yeah, I was never good at the games. I'm not a good video game player at all, like for anything really. But I love the just all the characters and the stages, the fact that they look like real people because they're, you know, the way they capture the images and all that stuff in the games. I'm a what they call 2D era player because I never got into the 3D games.
I am too.
And I dropped off for a long time, and then a couple years ago, I stumbled onto an individual on the internet named Ben Meckler. He's a writer, and he's a pretty funny dude. He has this podcast called Mortal Podcast with a K, obviously.
I've heard of that actually, yes.
And he just like, it's insanity because he has a guest on and he tells them the full story of that Mortal Kombat character, but only through the lens of one character at a time. And I was like, there's no way. So I didn't know there was so much lore. And that's kind of how I got back into it. Because they have a community, and I'm actually on a Discord with a bunch of people from the podcast. And we watched the movies recently during quarantine because that's all we could do. The there's actually a TV show called Mortal Kombat Conquest that it's a prequel to the '95 movie, and it's terrible, but it really expands on the lore too, and like
it aired really at like midnight on Saturdays in the '90s. Like,
do you remember what channel it was on? Do you remember what channel it was on?
I never watched it live, but it feels like a UPN type of show.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was TNT.
Oh God, yeah, I guess that would
or
make
USA.
sense for a Mortal Kombat show.
It was either TNT
one of those two
USA.
cable. So yeah, I've been talking to the people. Two of my friends have I have another podcast where they actually went through the whole Mortal Kombat Conquest TV show, and now they're doing other stuff. So they're really hitting everything. So
that's actually like a challenge of a.
They're so good about it. So I mean, I haven't seen it still. I just kind of listened to the ramble about it, but it really gets me hype. And then when I heard about the movie, I was like, here's our chance, because we got a 2011 series, and I think it was on the Machinima YouTube channel. Legacy, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah. It was on YouTube.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, look, we have better technology now than we did back in 1995. This stuff can look even cooler. Yeah. Which last thing I'll say before I let AJ go, the Goro puppet in the 1995 movie, it's a fucking achievement in film.
Yes,
yes, it looks so good.
This guy knows it. Danny knows what's going on.
It's so good.
We're just gonna recruit you. Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so
that's the Ponytail Hulk with 4 arms.
Ponytail Hulk, as you call him, yes. Which I have to say might be some of a very apt description. I mean, I often called Sub-Zero Elsa in my drunk reviews, so I understand.
Are you gonna dare call him Elsa after the most recent movie?
Yes, I will. Elsa can also
I think it's probably more apt actually after the most.
Now more than ever to call him.
One quick correction, because I don't want to be disrespectful. Sorry, that's Prince Goro.
Yes.
Not just apologies.
It's an honor to have you serving the armies of Outworld.
That's right, exactly.
I also, before AJ goes, just before I forget, I need to ask Juice, who in the movie was Paul Oyama? Because you were like, I didn't realize Paul Oyama was in this movie. So I want to know who in reference that was to.
Nobody has a mustache like Paul Oyama.
The main cat guy.
Cole Young.
Cole
You
Young.
got some Oyama vibes from him?
Yeah, let me pull up. Yeah, let me get a side by side going.
I do.
No, before you do that, we have to pull up this comment right here. Name me one movie where a puppet has a better ball punching reaction. Also, I want Juice to watch anime movies without seeing the series, just to see what name he comes up with.
I like it.
Juice.
I'm on board.
I agree.
I am watching My Hero Academia right now on John's recommendation. If when I get to the points in the story where the movies come, do you want to do this for one movie?
Yeah.
I want to watch you guys watch it.
Yeah. I'm into this. I feel like I'm also.
That could.
We have to just sit around coming up with names. So, are you pulling up a photo to demonstrate his Oyama?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'll do it. While
I really
need a minute.
You know who he kind of reminded me of sometimes, speaking of Schmodown competitors, and not really the way he looked, but just his like disposition, like certain ways he would enunciate a word, or his calmness and just like, I don't know, his speech, I guess. He kind of reminded me of Andrew DeMolanta a little bit. Just in like certain like mannerisms and speech patterns, but it wasn't all the time. It was just certain things. Like there was this one scene where he said something, and I was like, oh, that like kind of sounded like Andrew DeMolanta for a minute, but they don't really look alike.
They don't look alike or sound alike.
I just think that like certain
the way
like
he said it.
Manners of speech or something like it. I couldn't tell you the scene. When I rewatch it, I'll let you know. But for like a hot second, I was like, it kind of sounded like the way Andrew DeMolanta would say that.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking JTE.
Peru?
No, I feel like this guy spoke a little bit too.
He's a defensive player. That's what he is. So, all right. Do you have the pick, Juice, or should I?
Not yet. Yeah, go for it. I'll do it at the end.
So,
I mean, he has no
what
mustache.
brought me into loving Mortal Kombat? I'm the youngest of my siblings, and we had a Super Nintendo when I was 4 years old, and we came in with the first Mortal Kombat game. And I mean, that was the thing that my dad just let slip by because there was sweat. That
You're right. There was no brutality. It was not brutal.
But when we went to the arcades and the mall, then we got to play with the blood and shit. So my first movie in a theater ever was The Lion King. My second movie in a theater ever was Mortal fucking Kombat. At 5 years old.
That's a bit of a gap too. Didn't I?
Yeah.
Is it 94?
95.
94 and 95.
94, 95,
95. So it was a whole year before you went and saw another movie?
No, it was the end of 1 year into maybe a few months.
I remember Lion King was in theaters for a hell of a long time.
A very long time.
It really was, yeah.
So, and I stayed a fan of the franchise through the PS1 era, through Deadly Alliance and those things. God, I hope they do the Deadly Alliance storylines in the new movies. But that's going to be something we talk about a little bit into this. And the new franchise revived the 2011 Mortal Kombat reboot. Reminded me how much I love this franchise, and I've been kind of dipping in and out ever since. So yeah, this is it's my thing. It's my fandom. I love nerding out on it, and it's been a thing that started with me really, really young. But with that, we have one more person who's going to come in.
5-year-old you
and tell us. How did 5-year-old me grasp Mortal Kombat?
Yeah,
the same way that I grasped Double Dragon the year prior on VHS. That's a story for another night.
Explains a lot about you.
Yes, it does. Absolutely does. But we have somebody waiting backstage who's talked about Mortal Kombat at least 2 other times tonight. And I want to hear how and why he fell in love with the franchise.
We know this, but
Jesse Swift. Jesse Swift, how are you doing tonight?
Jackal,
Mr.
Buddy.
You took my thunder. I was going to be like,
Thank
I'm on
you
my
for stopping
first.
by to discuss Mortal Kombat for the third time tonight.
Here, I'm going to go watch this.
Mike literally selfishly is like, yo, get off that stream that you're on right now because ours is more important. Okay, fine.
I'm not sure the stream that you were on right before this, but whoever that was, you were equally as important.
I gotta say, this is it's been quite the. I got home from work and went straight on to Explain It to Me with Alex Damon, and then I was just on Apocalypse talking Mortal Kombat, and now finally, wait, is this my What the Show premiere?
Well, you were on it once. You were on it. You crashed the Whitney stream.
Oh, I mean that hardly counts. I was in my car.
No, I think we're gonna call this your debut.
Yeah, we'll say that this is your premiere.
It's about fucking time.
I mean,
what a great one to pop into. Mortal Kombat.
I love the background. I think if I didn't say this, I was thinking it. I was like, I need to be on What the Show before you're on my birthday stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I need to formally. Juice, did I send you an invite? Did I drop that ball?
Juice, tell them why you can't do it.
Wait, is that this Saturday?
This coming Saturday, yeah.
It's the best reason ever.
And this is the most juice thing that you also. I'd like to preface this. Well, he dropped this in our chat and then disappeared for an hour to leave us to just think about it, and then came back and explained it. So, Juice, go ahead.
I'm chaperoning a high school prom.
Is that not the best juice thing you've ever heard? I was like, yeah, that tracks, actually.
Maybe I could sneak into the bathroom where the kids are smoking weed and get a few of the stoners in on the stream too for a little crash.
You know what, Justin? Just to send you some sympathy, I would rather watch this movie a third time than chaperone children.
They're going to be chaperoning me, but yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get on the floor. The juice will be loose on that dance floor, and you're going to put all those children to shame.
It's really just an excuse to work out.
I'll do the same basic thing I've been doing everywhere, but here's my boys.
Yeah.
There is Hanzo
So those are the
Sashi.
video game ones, correct?
Real quick, guys. One quick thing. I'm really sorry to interrupt, but we just had a record-breaking donation.
Oh shit!
From Mr. Nerd Chronic. Well, record-tying donation.
Oh,
but still, $100 from Nerd Chronic. Hey, all. Hope you all enjoyed the movie. Late congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. Deacon. Best wishes.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
Bless your soul.
AJ, tell everyone where that's going.
So, once again, all donations to our channel, we don't keep a penny of it. Nope. Usually we donate a little bit more. I take care of the Streamlabs fees, anything like that. And sometimes we pitch in a little extra. This month's charity is Black and Pink. Black and Pink is a charity that is pro LGBTQ prisoners' rights. They distribute newsletters and do pen pal programs throughout the country for prisoners who are lesbian, gay, transgender, those who are underserved, usually most by the legal system, to help them know their rights, to help them with legal help, and just what that experience is like if you're in a fucking jail cell. Black and Pink is a great organization that's based in Omaha, Nebraska, my hometown, run by the amazing Dominique Morgan currently. Follow them on Twitter. They're doing amazing things. If you want to be a pen pal, follow Black and Pink on Twitter, and you can actually be a pen pal for somebody who's learning their rights, who's figuring out the things that might be underserved for them in the justice system. So that's where all of our donations for the month of April are going. So
thank you, Eric.
About that.
Yeah.
Thank you again for being
Eric,
the legend.
After the free-for-all, good Lord. And also, the one mistake you made was fantastic. Having Viviani's name over Bateman, I could not stop laughing. So that was fantastic. Even though it was a mistake, we need things so much better.
So now that we're keeping this entirely positive environment and we're about to start talking about the new movie half an hour into the stream, and we have Jesse Swift here.
Yeah, Jesse. So those are the original video game pops, right?
In the words of Kesha, the party don't start till I walk in. Yeah. So we got Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat X, or 10 for the layman's. We have Sub-Zero from the original arcade games. Yes. And then we have Scorpion, also from Mortal Kombat X.
Nice.
No, guys, we got another donation.
Oh, no.
Another donation from Chick-fil-A. Here, guys, sorry for...
Thank you, Chick-fil-A. I see you changed your tune.
That's funny.
Well,
and we appreciate it.
What a place to turn around. Like,
I'm really glad what this show could show Chick-fil-A the way.
I'm just happy to be part of this historic moment.
Eric, thank you.
Oh my God, Eric, you need to go watch Mortal Kombat. HBO
I was going to say... I love how Eric's been on like 2 or 3 Mortal Kombat streams today in the chat, and he's like, I haven't watched it yet. Like, what are you doing, man?
The whole thing's spoiled for you at this point.
And here's the thing for me, before
Eric,
I watch...
if you want to watch it with us on a Zoom, we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll watch with you.
For me, before I watched the 2021 movie, I watched
2011 was Mortal Kombat 9, which was actually a better incarnation.
The best Mortal Kombat movie.
If you watch that video, like go on YouTube and just find the video of the game like playing through.
Do 9 through 11 cutscene movie. Just do that. That's
a fantastic watch.
Before I watched the new movie, I had the entire plot spoiled by some European person I don't know. In a Fire Emblem stream, by the way, support Choopy Choosy. That dude's the best Fire Emblem streamer in YouTube. But
Noted.
But I had the entire plot spoiled for me, and I was like, well, now I know. And I actually think that knowing the entire plot by people who were posting spoilers in a YouTube chat that had to be modded out, it helps me know what I was getting. Like, I had my expectations
Can I just say, I see your comment about Kano getting an egg roll, and he doesn't deserve one because he was being very racist.
That's awesome.
So he does not deserve that egg roll, okay? Although egg rolls are delicious, as I
just slightest little side thing. Can you imagine if this movie, like people having no context about like the story of Mortal Kombat, if it opened the way that Mortal Kombat 9 did, where just everybody was dead. There was just corpses of every main character all over the ground, and then they introduced time travel, and you're like, what the hell?
But this was a $50 million movie. If it was a $200 million movie, they could have done that.
True.
And that's what I love about this movie is that it's responsibly budgeted, but it looks good. Like
it's interesting what does and doesn't look good in it. Like I was surprised how well Goro looked, and then devastated how Outworld looked.
Yeah, Outworld definitely was a little touchy. For sure.
Outworld just looked like your Arizona backyard. Like I just
and the Goro shot, the Goro fight had to be filmed in the dark to control the budget. Let's face it, that's the exact same thing they did with Chitara.
Yeah, it was the budget, and it sucked.
The sets were definitely. I think the sets influenced the story because you can't put Sonya and Jax in like this high tech government facility. If you don't have the budget, if you can only build a cabin in like a dump yard or whatever.
Do you think they actually filmed that in Gary, Indiana?
You know what?
Maybe it was Australia. They said it in the end credits. I watched it all the way through. It's Australia, but South Australia specifically.
Try to argue that 95 didn't have better sets.
No, I agree with you, Jesse. Like, you know, Jesse and I talked a little bit after I put up my full spoiler review, and we're pretty well on page, I think, actually, with what we thought. But set-wise, I'm like, so here's one I did not say this in my spoiler review. Like, you had Jax and Raikou fighting basically on the pit 2, and they didn't use it. Like, why? Why?
You could have literally all you had to do is like right after you do the head smash, give him a little boot
and just knock him over
corpse into the pit.
Just do what they did with the Sub-Zero and Jax scene, and you could have had the fan service right there.
So some PA went to the director like, we can either explode his head or have him fall in the pit. We can't afford
pit.
Just do. If you're gonna have the fight on the pit, do it in the pit. Like at that point, they should have just swapped out where the Melina fight was because
They should have done the acid. They should have done the acid room.
Everybody knows in the original games you would do the uppercut, and the uppercut would send him off into the pit, right?
Yeah.
They've been shouting at Cole the whole damn movie, do an uppercut, do an uppercut. It should have been Cole on the pit, and then do the uppercut and knock Raikou over into the spikes. Because
God damn, you're right, Jesse.
Cole fighting Raikou is appropriate because they both don't matter. Cole killing Goro is some horse shit.
Yes.
I don't think Cole killing Goro is horseshit. I think that Goro's
horseshit.
I think that he should have had a win earlier in the movie that upped the stakes when he fought Cole.
If they made it worthwhile, but they made Goro just expendable.
Yeah. So if he beat the shit.
Cole lost every fight before Goro and after Goro. Goro was the only win he had.
And that's the supreme fighter of Mortal Kombat 1.
That made Goro, the champion of 9 tournaments, a jobber to an MMA fighter, and I will not accept it.
A bad MMA fighter, a Bellator fighter. Like,
Go ahead. I'm being a dick. I'm sorry. I'm ramped up.
But my thing is, if Goro had beat the shit out of somebody, if they gave him like a stomp fatality of somebody before
that wasn't an image on a wall.
It should have been coming out. Like if that's what you're doing.
Here's how I think you fix that.
You introduce this guy and it's like the scene before before Cole goes home, and it's like, hey, there's this guy Art. He's also gonna.
I was literally about to say that.
And then Goro stops the
I'll
fuck
just really
out
love
of
Art
him,
Lee, don't you?
Then that's how you do it.
That would have been like a hilarious,
Yeah,
terrible but hilarious
Can I just
throwback.
say,
Goro has been relegated as a jobber since the '95 movie, in the series pretty much entirely.
Those were $500
like
glasses.
6 people, and Art Lee. So he had like 7 wins before Johnny Cage.
Here's how I think. Okay.
Oh, sorry, Danny.
No,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, here's how you fix the Goro thing. We know Goro exists because we see that big ass statue. You make that instead of Goro, you make it Kintaro because nobody gives a fuck about Kintaro.
Exactly.
Then have Cole
Why
kill
didn't they
Kintaro.
just put Kintaro in this movie and then switch them around?
Yeah,
If that's how they were going with it.
Save Goro for
fireballs. That's cool. Do that.
Well, we're gonna get into sequel hopes, and we're going to get into some sequel
Well,
hopes.
Kintaro has still not been on the big screen. So.
But Kintaro and Motaro are two of the ones.
all the Taros. Everybody named Taro.
all the Tarkatans, like there's a lot I want to see.
Wouldn't the Tarkatan be relatively cheap to do? Like they honestly,
No.
not even Baraka. They could have just had a Tarkatan fight, and that could have been like a way to go. There's some people in the chat like, what the hell?
I would like to know what Juice thinks about the Goro fight as someone who has not seen the other 2 movies
or
and has
knows
referred to him as Ponytailed Hope.
You're about to see some shit, homie.
Kintaro sounds like my last Taco Bell order, but the Goro fight.
No, that's Kintaro Supreme.
Yeah, with extra sour cream. I mean, I liked it. I didn't. To me, it seemed like Goro. I'm not a big fan of like the big monsters. I like more of the one-on-one with dudes or whatever.
You're a lizard guy.
I liked that it was just he was the guy that just kind of got knocked out real quick there in that fight. But obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about. So I liked it.
Did it work within the scope of the film for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like with his introduction, all that stuff.
Yeah,
the Goro thing. As someone who doesn't give 2 shits about Goro, sorry. I know he's very important to you, but he did nothing for me in the 95 movie, and I only have knowledge of him from that movie. I had never played any of the games, as mentioned earlier. But I feel like it could have been a lot more powerful because I'm willing to say, because I'm going to be honest, Cole Young did not do a lot for me in this movie. We'll get into that later. But I feel like he should have been developed a little bit better since he is the main protagonist of this movie, and he is the only character in this movie that even if you are an established fan, you don't have any knowledge of because he's a brand new character for this movie. So we could have given him a little bit more, but whatever.
It's all about that Warner Brothers mandate.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
the
ridiculous.
whole motivation of this scene was to get him his, Arcana or whatever, and was to I'm willing to, we were talking about how he's not a good fighter, and that's fine. I think that that's totally fair.
No, don't.
But the whole point of this scene is that his family is, about to be murdered, and he's got to be better. And I do think that someone's family being in peril and jeopardy and whatever, like the adrenaline kicks in and you are a better fighter than you've ever been, and that would bring this out or whatever. But that would have meant more if I felt a better connection to him and his family, because they're we never really established that. It was like, Sub-Zero's here, he's about to kill your daughter, go hide in the cabin. I barely knew that was his daughter.
I was gonna say I didn't know that was his daughter. I thought that was his little sister.
Sister, thank you.
Yeah.
Same.
So was the other girl's his wife?
It's his wife, and I was like, if that would have been established better, that he is literally trying to save the life of his wife and his daughter,
right?
That scene would have held so much.
I thought it was little sister and girlfriend, but no, it's wife and daughter. Sister. Yeah.
And then later on, when she's like, "Dad," I'm like, "Her father?"
Excuse me.
That's how bad they set that up.
And
that's the stuff I picked up on.
There's just there are things that they made choices, but at the end of the day, The thing that I love about Mortal Kombat is that it's action and it's visceral.
So
very.
Here's
it's
my
like they had to tiptoe back this movie from NC-17 from with MPAA, apparently.
Can we get a hashtag justice for Kung Lao, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you know, like Revenant, homie? That's what's gonna happen.
How do you have Revenants if you're not gonna introduce Quan Chi and you're gonna bastardize the Quan Chi Scorpion?
Because the next movie is fucking Deadly Alliance.
Anyone can be a Revenant. I don't understand.
But we're not talking about the next movie. We're talking about this movie.
Four of these people in this stream know what's going on. Me and Juice are just here for a good
I'll say Kung Lao had the best entrance of anyone in the movie.
Yes.
And what's his arcana? Who the fuck knows? Because he could teleport and throw the hat.
Yeah, thank you,
Ryan.
Ryan.
I don't know.
Well, everybody's all Kano right now for who's the best character in the movie. Fucking Kung Lao had the best reactions.
I'm not.
Frisbee.
Kung Lao was done well.
Best fatality.
He has the best reactions per line.
Bar none. I feel bad for Natara because Natara's whole character was like Shang Tsung thinks you're hot.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Like that was her.
That was weird.
That was a watched
Kung Lao's eyes when he fucking murders the shit out of Natara.
And
that scene was fantastic. I'm sorry, I don't care what you say about this movie. That scene was fantastic.
That's the best fucking
honestly,
thing
like,
he did.
Tell me why I felt like Kung Lao like had, you know, he was like freaking erect after that fatality. Like he was just like,
that's his arcana.
He was.
And not only that, he says flawless victory, and it's actually a flawless victory. Not like in the first movie.
She got no hits on him.
Yeah, not like Shang Tsung just kept saying it over and over. Like, no, Art got some punches into Goro. That's not a flawless victory.
This was a legitimate flawless victory.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
That does bring up a good point though. The 95 one, when it would insert game lines, it was kind of fun because they didn't have a lot of lore to go off of. They had 3 arcade games pretty much.
It does seem inserted.
This one, it's like the worst offense for me was honestly
Test Your Might.
Test Your Might was not the worst. It was like, oh, you have to come down here and Test Your Might.
Was the best game line, actually.
But it's when what should be kind of a serious moment, it didn't make sense. But when Liu Kang kills Cabal, he's like, fatality for Kung Lao.
Kung Lao.
Was a little weird.
Like, why would anyone ever say that? And it was Cabal, not Kang. Like,
I was like,
Kang would have made sense, but
I was like, Cabal didn't kill him. Yeah. And what the hell is that line?
They did make the characters stagger though. They did make him do this a little bit before any fatality thing.
In the mud, yeah.
Or Dad, use your uppercut. Dad, use your uppercut. Stop.
Yeah.
If you had yelled toasty, I lose it.
I will say the uppercut.
I think it's coming.
Was a callback to the beginning of the movie, which was one of the only times where, again, there was some actual continuity and development for Cole, but not really, because in the beginning, I told you should use your uppercut. So at the end, he finally does it. So
imagine your character arc being an uppercut, though.
But if the uppercut had been in the pit,
it was good.
Jesse is right. If the uppercut had been in the pit, then all of a sudden you're talking another story.
I think Juice was trying to say something, but I never let him.
No, I enjoyed the little scene, like where I forget. I think it was I don't know any of the names. It was 2 of them. When they did like the little low kick. And then the other low kick, and then they jump back, and it was like, that's your only move.
That's also a callback to the old arcade games.
That's a super throwback to the game.
Right,
you were a super asshole in the game if you kept doing that.
Right, that was
because it was like down and like the left button.
I was like, and you could do that repeatedly and win every time, and it was
like, I think I'm being called out.
That I liked. I thought that was funny.
Like the second time it happened, I thought it was a coincidence.
I liked.
Oh, the new Shang Tsung versus Carrie was not. Carrie Tagawa was,
which sucks because his name's, I think it's Chin is either his first or his last name.
Yeah, he's the guy from The Dark Knight.
Yeah, The Dark Knight. He's actually a really good actor, but they gave him nothing to do
with him.
And it comes back to those game lines when they're walking through Outworld. He goes, Melina, let's finish this. I'm like, dude, that's the worst delivery ever.
Yeah,
because Carrie like just chewed on all the scenery. Like if you're gonna do cheesy stuff, go for it. Don't half-ass it.
He embraced it. Like Carrie was like as weird as it is to say, considering Lyndon and Lambert, Carrie owned that movie. Lambert. But Carrie owned that movie. Like he was the one character in that movie. Every time when he was on, it's like he just crushed it. And
to be positive about 2021 Mortal Kombat,
this movie's fucking
I was just thinking of all the comparisons between the old characters and the new characters. I would say one of the better. I think the Sonya was very good. I liked her. Yes. Would like more of her.
On that. I agree with you.
Was great.
Because I think the acting was stronger.
She was better developed too.
But I think the story was worse. Having her like live in a trailer park and being obsessed with Mortal Kombat has no source reference.
In what town?
Yeah.
It's like they mentioned that she's in special forces. I was like, you're in special forces, but you're living out of a trailer your whole life.
A trailer in what town?
And she has like this board. It's like the Pepe Sylvia board from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I was like, bro.
I call that the Easter egg board. Gary,
that's exactly what it is.
My favorite Easter egg is for Sub-Zero on that board. They have a down left, they have a thing for the ice bolt for Sub-Zero on a board.
Yes, I like that they had Shinnok's amulet. That was
which Kano might still have. So that's how everybody could, theoretically could come back.
This stream is entirely off the rails, so I was going to save this for toward the end. But Shinnok, this is how I want this entire, at least a trilogy of Mortal Kombat films to end, is Willem Dafoe as Shinnok.
Well, sign me up. But
would he go bald?
I'm going to argue.
I mean, I like Willem Dafoe as anything, so I don't know.
Anytime you can make a character in Mortal Kombat Asian, do it.
You said Riz Ahmed?
What's that?
Who did you say?
Oh, I said anytime you can make a character Asian in Mortal Kombat that's not inherently white, then please do it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but
originally when they said that Louis Tan was going to be Cole Young, I was like, oh, does he take the stage name Johnny Cage? I was going to be okay with that. If Johnny Cage was Asian, that would be fine.
I thought they were playing with Kwai Lang, and I was like, oh, that's dope. He Americanized his name because he lives in the U.S. or something.
Well, and I thought, originally, okay, this guy's he's Shirai Ryu, he's gonna get Takeda powers, and that's what we're gonna go.
What a dropped plot though! The Shirai Ryu and the Lin Kuei,
right?
They're just gonna keep saying for the Lin Kuei, for the Shirai Ryu. General fans are like, who? What? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I think that 90% of the negative reaction for most people, not everybody, but most people, would be if you didn't give the main character defense powers.
What?
If you didn't give the main character, Cole, if you didn't give him defense powers.
You didn't get him plot armor?
Yeah.
No, not plot armor, defense powers. That's what he got. If you didn't give him that, people would be happier.
So he loses his MMA fight. He loses when he's training with Kung Lao.
Right.
He loses. He beats Goro, and then he loses against Molina. He gets his ass handed to him by Sub-Zero and has to call for Granddaddy help. And it's just
great Granddaddy, yeah.
Great. There's 3 greats or 4 greats.
I thought he was the kid. I thought they were just in this old-timey looking place.
They said it's a girl in the beginning.
Today, that's the kid.
When I
thought it Cole Young boy. He's like, I'm from.
That's really good.
Put me in a wooden box.
He's like, I'm from Chicago, and I'm like,
yeah, again,
no, you're from 1960s Japan.
It's a throwaway line that he was adopted from Chicago,
and they never did anything.
I was like,
anything. With that.
Just really, you had an opportunity. And Warner Brothers mandated you to make this character, but you had an opportunity to develop him, and there is
the issue is fucking giving a main character defense powers in a movie about fucking murdering people.
Yeah,
That's what it's. That's what it is.
murdering people in a cartoonish and spectacular fashion.
Also, they give him tonfas for what?
I mean, that's fun.
For cutting people.
Well,
Yeah.
one of them's like a baton, and the other one's like a blade. And
It's
I'm
like an
the fact that they're different
arcana.
is
You get
weird.
this arcana, and then it's like, oh, you found another level. Like,
Yeah, it kind of like adds on to it.
Am I the only person? I feel like it felt like everybody that I talked to, I was the only person complaining that Kano's eye is Arcana. I was like, it's a cybernetic eye, but go off.
oh, it's 100% supposed to be cybernetic. Like, I agree with you on that. Like,
I have a question about Arcanas. Is that was never a thing in the other movies? Is that a thing in the game? Is that just something this movie came up with?
So
I had not
they were
heard
trying
the-
to figure out how to shortcut every character at the same time and not put in any work for character
Yeah.
development
Yeah.
or explain anything. So like, instead of explaining anything, we're going to have Arcana.
I think Friday was
So-
the first time I heard the word Arcana. Ever.
yeah, it's never existed
I'm like,
before.
is this a thing that like exists in the Mortal
No.
Kombat?
Same
Like,
with the dragon marks.
I just want to loop back to Bethany's earlier point about positivity. I know it sounds really negative, but I fucking love this movie.
I fucking dude.
We're
How
gonna
many
take a
times have you
shot
seen
on
it?
but
I'm on 5. I've watched it 5
enjoyable.
times.
I've seen it 2 times. I'm gonna watch it a bunch more before it leaves HBO.
Oh.
I'm gonna buy whatever dumb steelbook Blu-ray.
I'm going to surprise
put out.
everybody. I really want a sequel, but there's a caveat there because I actually don't want a sequel movie. I want it to be explored and expanded on HBO Max. I think at 10
With the
episodes.
series?
No?
Like,
Yeah,
it's-
I think a 10 episode, hour long series with HBO Max budget would much better serve the characters, the story, the lore.
With
across
that Game of
Yeah,
Thrones money?
Sure.
Well, I mean, look at
I'm
The
on
Witcher.
board with this, Jesse.
The Witcher makes a
I'm
better
on board
show
with
I
than a
think
movie.
like a little mini series could be fun. I'm into that.
Yeah.
I think we
Especially
could definitely
since the next movie should be the tournament, like doing the
Right.
tournament in segments would be great.
Think about having a match or two in an episode, and like if you have 2 matches in an episode, the episode's like an hour long, and the rest is character development, character interactions, and like there's other things. There's so much going on in Mortal Kombat at any given point in time.
Think about how well tournaments work in anime. Like, just do that. Like, do the Dragon Ball Z tournament, but
not
make it
a
Mortal
whole-
Kombat.
yeah.
Just give me a whole arc of Mortal Kombat tournament.
And then you could like lead up background stuff. Like you could have the passing around of like Shinnok's amulet, and you're like, what's happening with this? What does this mean? What is Shang Tsung up to? And half or more of the actors in this movie are actually TV actors,
Yeah.
Right.
like
That's
Rashad
true.
Brooks and Louis Van.
Australian soap opera for a few of them, yeah.
Cole
But
gets
speaking-
punched in the face and takes 10 seconds to get up. In the meanwhile, we could flash back to whatever, like when he met his wife or whatever.
Now,
TV stuff.
Give me some Cole backstory. Okay.
Can't.
That's what I'm asking.
Cole has no backstory. Yeah, he's a
Also,
completely.
Can we get some more like female good guys? Because I feel like the '90s did a better job at female representation.
Yeah.
than
We're
we did in
about to get
2021.
Katana. We're gonna
Sonya's
get
the only
Jade
girl?
with Katana.
Okay, so you have Melina without Baraka and Katana.
right.
That makes
Right.
no sense.
Where's
No
Katana?
sense.
We saw her.
Yeah,
Her
everyone
fan.
keeps saying, "Well, the flag's back there. Why?
But yeah,
Why is the flag in Raiden's temple? She's from Adenia and then Outworld, and then Raiden's got. Did she die already? Did she die and then Melina's like a resurrected Tarkatan clone of her? There's just, and then Liu Kang and Melina shared a glance. Why? What is that? Is there something there? Did I miss something? It's just a lot of.
Yeah, we're gonna get some Revenant shit.
Katana. Where is she? I need
We're,
her.
we're setting up retcons for
So,
sure.
like, Liu Kang, let's talk
You're a
about
fan of the
for a
MCU, right? You know what retcons are.
I do, but I feel like to say that we're gonna start getting the Revenant storyline and stuff from like 10 and 11 is ambitious.
I'm down for a bear fight. I'm down for some bears. Some
Except
good
Noob
Revenant.
Saibot.
Like,
Maybe it'll win an
Saibot.
Oscar. Maybe it'll
like
win an Oscar.
fair, like how?
Noob Saibot. You got it, Jesse.
That'll be a fight
Oh.
that Hulko or whatever can take on a
Goro.
bear.
Mecha Goro, next movie. Yes, John. But we talked about Noob Saibot. And does anyone know the background of the name Noob Saibot?
Yes, I know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
But
Mine-
tell the stream because I don't think
All right.
I don't think they
So,
made
Noob Saibot is the two original creators. It's Ed Boon and John Tobias. Their names backwards. So that's where the name of that character came, and it became a hidden character in Mortal Kombat 3. And
I think so.
yeah, it was
official
great.
in 3 for home consoles.
So then,
Available in arcade for 2.
which
Yeah.
which both
Did
Boone
you
and
catch-
Tobias get a name check.
And then
Yeah,
there
that's
is
what I was gonna
a
say.
reference in the movie that says Ed Tobias.
Eddie Tobias is somebody
Eddie
that called
Tobias
us five.
early in the movie, yes.
Yep.
Love that.
I don't know how they said the name Tobias with. Anyways, the history of Mortal Kombat. Sometimes we just need to let the past die.
And so let me draw on that. Like, yes, this movie has a ton of flaws and things that if you really
It's not a flawless victory.
Yeah. But if you're looking at it like if you watch the first sequence of the movie and the last sequence of the movie, you're ecstatic with the two Sub-Zero and Scorpion fights.
The first
Yeah,
7
that
minutes
was
of this
those
movie
two fights are fantastic.
So good. Like
Yeah.
if the entire movie was the first 7
Which
minutes
is-
of this movie,
Which is why HBO
Yeah.
dropped them a few days earlier.
yeah, they
They're like,
knew
"Hey, go
what
watch
they were
this shit.
doing.
You're gonna like it.
And the ending, I was amazed that the trailer, now having seen the movie, gave such a big
Spoiled
spoiler. Like that, it
so
gave away
much.
so much of the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
Like when
Still
you watch
great.
when you watch the trailer, you got
right.
excited. But I was like, "Holy shit! This spoiled a lot."
and they
Yeah,
have
the
like
beginning and the ending are very. And maybe if the whole movie was just Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
So
Every-
here's my other question.
Yeah.
So the Goro scene where he jumps up is the only scene in the fucking movie where they use slow motion, and it's for 2 seconds for a pointless scene. They're like, what the fuck was the point of that? Like, why is Goro?
It's
suddenly-
because
Why
they
not?
put that in
Goro.
post. They knew people just watched the Snyder Cut. We needed a little bit of slow-mo. We also needed a movie that apparently had a great NC-17
Release
2.5
the
hour
combat
cut at an hour and 50 minutes. So that's
I
why.
will say this movie.
I'll
I
be
thought
back
the
in 5
pacing,
minutes, people.
character development, I could have used
Yep.
10 minutes more runtime so I could actually get some more character development.
It flew though.
But this movie actually was very well paced. Like I liked how tight it was. Like you weren't like,
Yeah.
oh my god, when is this going to end? It ended, and I left going, I wish I would have had more. So that's like,
We were moving.
good on you, Mortal
We were
Kombat.
moving nonstop.
I
Yeah.
resent anyone that tries telling me, and I understand if you only have surface level knowledge of Mortal Kombat, but they said that there's no character development in Mortal Kombat or there's like no backgrounds and stuff. I was like, there is, I think 11 is like 6 hours of cutscenes, and then you put on the Aftermath, which is another 2 to 2.5 hours of
Hell yeah.
cutscenes. So you're looking at an 8-hour story.
If you know the games, yeah.
Without gameplay, that's
It's
an
nothing.
8 to 10 episode series.
And
right?
that's just the
Right.
reboot. That's just the reboot after the time change. It doesn't even include all the stuff prior leading up to the you must win scenario.
Well, that's where
Like-
it's like, it's if you know the gameplay, you're upset because it doesn't follow the gameplay, and if you don't follow the gameplay, well, they didn't develop it. So it's kind of like you're in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
I gotta bring up Marvel because it's hard to talk about adaptations without bringing up Marvel. Look at Captain America: Civil War, right? That is an adaptation. Is it anything like the comics? Not really.
at all.
However, they hold on to the core and the
Right.
feelings and like what that comic meant, and then
Right.
there's some moments from the comics, and so it still feels like it honors Civil War, right? I'm looking
I
for a
agree.
movie that feels like it honors Mortal Kombat, and a lot of this felt like people that maybe played the arcade games or something, or they had heard of certain things about Mortal Kombat, and like people want fatalities, they want their catchphrases, and like we just have to stitch the rest together. And I was like, that's really kind of hollow. That's like, I guess I apologize if I wanted a lot more than that, because the games have been giving me so much more for the last like 10 years.
And I'm on page with you. Like I've outright said, like, this is a fun but flawed movie. Like, that's how I've described it since the day I saw it. I'm like, there are things I wanted more out of. There are some things I really, really enjoyed out of this, but it didn't give me everything I wanted.
I just gotta say the MVP of the stream right now is Juice, just quietly sitting there and be like, "Yeah, guys, right on. Good for you."
I want to know what you're holding, Juice. What is that?
Yes,
That's Raiden staff.
This was actually gifted to me by a Raiden impersonator in the South Side Chicago it was one of those Mortal Kombat live shows that they did. I wasn't at the show, but I was
those happen outside ice cream shops,
some business in the parking lot. Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Right outside ice cream shops. I remember.
So
what an interesting location to go.
Ice cream shops.
So the Raiden, the actual like Raiden that was playing Raiden in the Mortal Kombat live show came out, and some gangsters like came after him, and I actually ended up beating them up for him, so he gave me the staff.
How fun!
Yeah, it was a good time.
For adaptations, they did kind of change the Reptile character. However, Reptile has never had any significance in the story, even though he does himself have a background, and
they could bring him back as another iteration, but that one
that it didn't so that's where I'm talking about. It's like, okay, you adapted it, but it's not offensive because he's never been that important. Same with Reiko's never been that important.
He was there to be killed. That was his job. He was a red shirt. He was a red shirt.
Literally, I think he was wearing red. Yeah.
You know what's weird is there was no name mention of Shao Kahn. We saw him in a
big statue
and a statue, but they never said his name. I was like, Shao Kahn's kind of like the shit. Like he's
to be fair, 95 also never happened.
But as much as I defend 95, we can't pretend like that's a perfect incarnation. Also, again, the lore wasn't thick yet. It was like 25
95
years ago.
like stuck to the first game with some parts of the second game.
Yeah, they just
they fucked up Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but aside from that, they stuck to the game.
I will say yes, Sub-Zero and Scorpion I think were better portrayed in this film.
Oh, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are by far the heart of this movie and the driving force of this movie, and everything that is great about this movie comes from the two of them, with the exception aside from Kato,
Yeah,
I did like that Sub-Zero was, and I've seen several people make this comparison, he was basically Jason Voorhees in this movie.
Yes, that's a good comparison. And every time you saw him, and like even the musical cues with him, like you knew he was coming with the musical cues without seeing him and stuff like that.
Can we talk about Joe Taslim's body language? Because even though he had a mask on for more than half the movie,
his eyes. I had not talked about this at all. His eye language was so good. Like just looking at the way his eyes expressed,
especially for somebody wearing contacts, like the whole movie.
When we first see him in costume, the way he struts up to Shang Tsung, I was like, "Oh, this is a bad mofo." 100%.
Well, and even in the first scene, when I watched it the second time, I was watching the first scene, and you hear the commotion, and you hear somebody yell "Bihan," and then the sword goes through the wall, and then he struts in, with the eyes in his knuckles, and you see the blood, and I'm like, wait, is that from him, or is that blood coming out because of the ice? Like,
it's a subtle thing, but when he walks in, he like wipes the blood off his hands, and it's very unsettling.
He drops the sword. He's like, I don't need a sword. Like, I just carry it because it looks cool.
Sonata and Taslim were too good for this movie.
For all the nitpicks we have about this movie, those two characters were fucking awesome.
Yeah. I agree. Their costumes are great. Actually, everyone's costumes look pretty cool.
The costumes were good. Yeah, I agree with that.
Liu Kang.
Again, Sonia wearing comfy pants. I am here for that. Yes, Sonia, you wear those comfy pants. You deserve it, girl.
No transition here, but Melina, the way that her like mouth opened up, even though the end result kind of looked okay, it would have been better just throw a mask on her for anyone that doesn't know Mortal Kombat, so that when she's in the middle of a fight, she just pulls it down and you're like, oh, good God.
Instead of opening the jaw even more.
Because the whole time you see her, she's got like weird, like dried blood on her face.
She looked like Joker.
She did.
No, I agree with you, Jesse, on that one.
What's cool though is you've basically cast Katana already, right?
Right. I think that's how they pitched the movie. Like, I don't think you're getting a lot in this first movie, but you're gonna come back as your own twin in later movies.
Yep.
And she's like, all right, I'm on board.
That's easy.
I thought that might even be like a thing that I thought they were hiding, because you already have the actress. You don't have to announce who's cast as Katana or whatever.
Justin, I agree.
Can I say Luddy Lin has like every muscle ever?
Yeah.
Holy
he invented some new muscles.
Yes. When he flexed in the arena, like he was getting ready to like start training Cole.
Put a shirt on Magic Mike.
I was like, holy
Kano
shit.
has some amazing
He's
lines.
the width of a bicep too.
Like again, I don't want it to feel like I hated this movie, because I feel like every time I talk about it, I feel like I'm super nitpicking it, and like there are a lot of things to nitpick, but overall I did enjoy it as a movie. But
it's
I enjoyed it as much
film.
as that Tekken movie that came out like 10 years ago.
I wouldn't call this a great film. I would say it's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a rad movie.
I was dancing at the end there. I was like right here when the new big like techno rave theme comes in. It's like I was going nuts. I lost 1,000 calories in like 15 seconds.
The real question is who will be Johnny Cage?
Yeah.
So let's take this.
I've heard some Dacre Montgomerys. I like that.
Oh, I prefer to see that. I like that.
I've heard a lot of the Miz from like
that's the big rumor
from being at WWE World.
So I have
Scott Adkins, but I don't know if he can do the comedy.
I have a take that is going to be the
worst
of the hot takes.
Do like the physicality and the comedy, so it's like I don't know about the martial arts.
Well, aren't a lot of films in Australia, and a lot of people are Australian, so I could see the Dacre Montgomery for that aspect because he's Australian.
I want to see you started with the like the time travel stuff is when you actually put in Johnny Cage, and you have a young Johnny Cage played by Logan Paul. And old Johnny Cage. No.
Someone take AJ out.
Old Johnny Cage is played by Bradley Cooper.
So I joke.
And you have Bradley Cooper
Johnny Cage
correcting young Johnny Cage.
And young Johnny Cage somebody else. Just because old Johnny Cage's Lambert would be fucking hilarious.
Is this one of those things, Juice, that you have osmosisized? Where you know who Johnny Cage is, or did that end tag that like NC?
No, I got that. Okay. I knew that.
I've seen people get punched in the nuts. I know who Johnny Cage is.
This wouldn't be a Mortal Kombat stream if I didn't throw trivia out there.
Yeah.
Outside of Citizen Cage, name one other Johnny Cage movie.
Oh fuck! What was the name of that?
I want to say Gone with the Cage, but I don't think that's a real one. No. I think I just made that one up.
But it should be.
It sounds like a Johnny Cage movie though.
Gone with the Cage. Oh man, I'd watch that.
My gamer tag on Xbox is named after this movie.
Cage.
All right, what is it?
Fictional Mortal Kombat movie. Ninja Mime.
Ninja Mime. Oh, Ninja
Mime.
That's right.
Man, that's a callback to what Jean-Claude Van Damme movie?
Oh.
No clue.
Tournament fighter movie.
Bloodsport?
Nope. The Quest.
One? Oh, the
Quest.
He's a stilts walking mime at the beginning of this movie. Have you guys seen The Quest?
What is it?
I don't think so.
Do you guys want to come back for a watch along of The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
I do.
And the second person to play fucking Lord Raiden is in this movie as an action star.
Oh,
Mr.
Dexter's
James
dad.
Remar.
Yeah.
James Remar. So, wait. Now Mike's back. Do you know The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
The Bust?
The Quest.
Oh, no, I don't.
James Remar. Tournament fighter film. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Martial arts.
I've heard of the movie, but I've never seen it.
Okay, we're doing a watch-along.
We have so many watch-alongs to do right now.
I like that. I like that we eventually got to Jean-Claude Van Damme, seeing as how like
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
His Universal Soldier movie is what kind of inspired this whole game getting made in the first place.
Well, it's true.
Well, that one and I mean the third best fucking John Carpenter movie.
All right, what race is Goro?
Shokan.
Nicely done.
Should
Yeah, you got it. You got it, Juice. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just got a little delay because of the stream.
Yeah, the streamer cut it out.
Yeah.
John Von Van Damme.
Yep.
Or whatever his name is, should play Johnny Cage.
Well, what's funny is Johnny Cage.
If they do an older Johnny Cage,
Jean-Claude.
Yeah.
Originally, they wanted Claude Van Damme to be like the image that they used in the first Mortal Kombat, but he said no because he was too busy.
He said no and then decided to do
it was supposed to be a Bloodsport video game. Like there's so much lore with what happened with Mortal Kombat and the creation of it, and what happened with Midway Games and all that stuff. It's such an interesting thing to do a deep dive with.
Yeah,
we did not take notes, so this is not the channel to do that with.
Very appropriate since he also in Mortal Kombat. So thank you, John, for bringing that up. I refused to learn his name the first time we watched Mortal Kombat.
Oh shit!
I referred to him as Johnny Tsunami.
So, I do have to say, my actual favorite Johnny Cage fan casting, that's Lando Payne from the Gucciverse. If you know the Gucciverse, it's kind of like a lot of our programming, but a little bit less nerdy sometimes, and a little bit more Schmodown focused sometimes.
And also way less PG.
Yeah, a little bit more offensive.
Oh, are we supposed to be PG? Yeah. I didn't get that memo.
No, we are not.
Compared to the Gucciverse, they're like G.
Lando from the Gucciverse threw this out there. You take the actor who plays Kano. The actor who plays Kano, you shave off his beard. He plays Johnny Cage in the next movie.
So, do you guys know what my fan cast was for Kano before? Joss Lawson's perfect, by the way.
Yeah,
but way before they started casting this movie, when it was just like fan cast.
Was it Jai Courtney?
No, it was Carl Urban, man.
Oh yeah.
Carl Urban was
yeah.
I like that.
Real dread.
What if?
I'll watch him do anything.
What if Josh Lawson shows up as Johnny Cage and then Carl Urban is resurrected and he's Kano? You just do that shit straight faced, because we know Mortal Kombat and what this fucking thing is.
I would want Joe McHale to do Johnny Cage, but I don't know if he could do, because he's voiced him. He's voiced him in Scorpion's Revenge, and he's fucking perfect. Like he's get the tone for Johnny Cage, but I don't know that he can do the fights.
That's the hard combos. You got to get. Yeah. I think what they're going to have to do is, kind of like they did with like. He's like a martial artist with passable acting.
Yeah, they're going to have to defake somebody's face onto a martial artist.
So, anyways, Mortal Kombat.
I think Nick Nolte should play Johnny Cage.
Love it.
Kill.
The good warrior.
Oh yeah.
Warrior.
Have we met Kano's mom in any movie or any piece of
Wasn't
media?
she the pilot of the plane?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
assumed, I think. Yeah.
I like that.
He's old Johnny Cage, just drunk
Everybody's
yelling
talking about
as
Cole
Nick
Young
Nolte
as
is
original
himself.
characters. We got Kano's mom.
Johnny.
Yeah.
All right,
No, right. So we'll get Johnny Cage's dad in the new one, and it'll be Nick
Papa
Nolte.
Cage. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Nicolas Cage is his dad, right?
Christopher Lambert as Katana.
Sold.
Yeah, I'd watch
Sold,
that.
I don't think
I
so.
would 100% watch that.
So I do have to ask, so like in all of the Mortal Kombat lore, like games, movies, everything, who is everyone's favorite character, like overall?
Oh, I know mine.
I have a twofold rebuttal question.
Yeah.
Gameplay or story?
I'm gonna lean more towards story.
Okay.
Mine is both. If you can choose the game for gameplay, mine is both. So who's going first?
You.
Yeah, you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking Kotal Khan.
You know what's really interesting is Elliot, that was Winter Twig on Alex Damon's channel. Out of all the characters, Kotal Khan was his pick too, and I thought that was so interesting and unique. And the fact that you say Kotal too really blows my mind.
Yeah,
Was he?
So he's not related to the actual Khans.
Khan is a title.
Yeah, he takes the title of Khan. He's kind of like an Aztec god character who is
Gets a little shout out in
blood
the wall.
and he has blood powers and sun powers.
Yeah.
But he's this guy who's this king who doesn't know what to do with the kingdom so much of the time. He struggles.
He's Shao Kahn's general for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And then then he finally when Shao Kahn goes down, like he steps up.
It's kind of like his character arc is kind of similar to Riddick's a little bit. If you guys are familiar with like that franchise, which could be another stream, but he just finds himself the unwilling king and fails a lot, but yeah, he's a total badass and has a good vision.
Kitty.
Oh, Kitty!
Hi, Kitty. What's the kitty's name?
This is Goose.
Oh,
No, it's Kotal.
Wait, that's a mouse name.
By the way, anybody who wants my friend code on Switch, which that's my only console, I will play you as Kotal Khan anytime, any day. Just hit
he
me
can also
up
turn
on
into a
my
tiger.
mentions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
is that a personality?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 came out on the Switch.
Oh my god. It feels like a long time since Nintendo.
It's been Armageddon was the last Switch
Yeah.
release for Mortal Kombat.
So
Anyone volunteering to go next?
I can go next, but Juice feels like he's got an answer.
No, you go for it. Go for it.
Go.
I think my favorite in the games and just overall is Cabal.
Cabal's my favorite for gameplay. I'll throw that.
Well, yeah, because I'm not a good player,
Cabal.
so I'm not a good player. So playing with Cabal makes things a lot easier. And he looks cool. His weapons are cool. Yeah, he looks cool.
He was the guy with the mask in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he's so much cooler in the games. I mean, he was cool in the movie, but he's so much cooler in the games.
Okay, wait. I have to really quick with Cabal.
When Kano mentioned opening a casino, and that Cabal mentioned opening the casino with Cabal, I fucking want that movie.
Yeah, or that.
I do too.
That's the movie I want. That's the Mortal Kombat movie. Is Kano and Cabal Casino?
Casino.
I need to reach out to my Star Wars fans here. Did anyone think that Cabal sounded like Rio, Jon Favreau's character from Solo?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'll have to watch it again.
He sounded like he was some dude from New York.
Yeah.
Let's let Danny keep on going, man. Cabal.
Yeah, Cabal's my favorite game wise, but I think lore wise and just overall, and also he has a really dope name, Boraicho.
Oh no.
He got a name drop.
He's so cool, and he's like his gameplay is kind of disgusting because he's a master of the drunken fist. But he's like he trained everybody. He just pretty much trains everyone in. Well, not everyone, but like Liu Kang calls him out for being his train. Yeah, all the monks are trained by Borracho. He trains a bunch of the Earthrealm fighters.
I have a fan cast for Borracho.
Okay.
Jackie Chan, he was already the drunken master.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that.
Jackie Chan in a fat suit.
Jackie Chan doing like straight up like fucking Eddie Murphy franchise.
Yeah. And then also Borracho like just means drunk in Spanish. So
big fart jokes. Doodle fart jokes.
That's funny.
I was a big fan of that, how they made that, Borracho just means drunk.
Professor.
So
yeah.
That's it. Those are my two.
Can I guess who yours is? Do I know? I feel like I should know. I don't. Your overall favorite
it's
Mortal
not Kano. It's Scorpion.
Was that not part of the wedding preparation?
I think it's Sub-Zero. Is Sub-Zero your favorite character?
She got it right.
Okay.
Wait.
We could stay married. I guess his favorite Mortal Kombat character.
But I have to clarify that because my favorite character is Sub-Zero too, but it's not Sub-Zero the Mantle. It's a specific character.
Yeah.
Is it the same one?
So mine is actually Sub-Zero too. So not Dion. Yeah.
Kuai Liang is my favorite Mortal Kombat character.
Correct. I'm the same way. And my reasoning for that is that he literally was the only person I could beat Mortal Kombat 3 with because Shao Kahn was a bitch to beat that on.
Hell yeah.
He's got the cool scar. He works with Earthrealm.
Mask on or off?
Who is that handsome dude, Jeff? Because I know you can guess mine.
Oh, it's Sonya.
No.
Oh.
Goro.
Yeah, Liu Kang is my favorite character. With honorable mention to Katana because she is my call sign. So salute to you, Katana, because we are synonymous with each other. But Liu Kang is definitely my favorite character.
Big fan of Katana.
And Juice.
I think
that's the best character of all time in video games.
I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, this guy, it's not a game without him. It's not a movie without him. It's just not a universe without him. It's obviously.
Yeah.
Reptile's your favorite character?
Yeah. No. Oh, man. I'm trying to think games. I'm trying to think like who I played in the games. Nia Jax or whoever was pretty cool. Liu Kang. He did a punch or two. I can't even remember who I played the games. But I mean, just based off this movie, Scorpion is the absolute coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, the throwing the like little spearhead. Yeah.
Scorpion is the most iconic character in the game.
Yeah.
That's why he's got the cover art of every game.
Yeah.
I do have an honorable mention that people wouldn't bring up though, probably.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
It is Takeda.
Takeda's amazing.
Takeda is the son of Kenshi, who was left behind to be raised by a resurrected Hanzo Hasashi. Is that not the dopest storyline ever?
Oh,
so he's part of the Shirai Ryu, and he's got like two giant like chain whip things that come out of his arm deal that he's got going on. So he's part Kenshi because he's got telekinetic powers. He's part Scorpion because he's trained under the Shirai Ryu. He's just like the two dopest characters thrown together.
Yeah.
I like it.
And also like the story with I did. I started off. I did mine first. But Takeda is amazing.
I'm like, making sure we made it through the
not
whole
only is he fucking this awesome cross between the Shirai Ryu and Kenshi, but also like they put a gay character in a fighting game.
Right. Oh, that's Kung Jin, not Takeda.
No shit. Yep.
But still, give him credit.
Kung Jin is amazing too.
Yeah.
Kung Jin, I believe, is a cousin of Kung Lao, and he's a gay character, and so that was cool. They did that in Mortal Kombat 10, and they were kind of subtle about it because it was like he was talking to Raiden, and Kung Jin's like, they'll never accept me for who I am. And then Raiden said something that's about, it's like, it's your character, not who you love, you know? And like, that was it. And it's just
and that's perfectly approached.
He was Lin Kuei, and is that right? Or
Kung Jin?
Kung Jin.
Kung Jin was a
or was he a Shaolin?
No, he was like a thief and a bandit that was then adopted by the
He's
monks.
White Lotus. He's White Lotus.
That's Avatar, isn't it?
Well, that's what the
monks,
technical Shaolin name is. Whatever.
The Lotus.
This lore is so fucking
deep.
Okay. If you think that we are done discussing Mortal Kombat, you are wrong, because on this channel it'll probably come up a bunch more times. But our time this evening has sadly come to an end. But yeah, overall, Mortal Kombat, great. It has its pitfalls, let's face it.
It's a film.
But it overall, it's an enjoyable
however,
film.
as a franchise of video games and film,
best theme song of all time, maybe. It's up there. It's my top 5 at least.
It's like Alan Silvestri's Avengers theme and like Mortal Kombat 95.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think we could end real quick with the Paul Oyama versus Louis Tan.
Oh yeah, give us that.
Before we end, sorry, I got one request for all the Warner Brothers exec or whoever owns this property that's watching. Can we get a Killer Instinct movie, please? Because that was my actual favorite game.
Well, that's Nintendo, so you're talking to Comcast, which is Universal.
Please, do you know?
There's not going to be a Nintendo movie because of this.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my actual.
Isn't Nintendo?
Toss this up first, Juice, and then we're gonna have Jesse tell people where to find them.
Yep. Okay, so I got a few pictures. I couldn't. It was too much to like. I was trying to get it to be a side by side, so I have a few different examples, but I'm gonna pull up here.
Let's see. Let's see this resemblance.
Let's see if you can even tell the difference here. So here we got.
That's boy. Okay. No mustache.
I don't know if I see it.
There's no mustache. The mustache, like.
Do it again for me, Juice.
Yeah. Well, there's this. I got more pictures.
Okay. Here you go, Oyama.
Okay.
That one I see a little bit. I do see it in that a little bit.
I like that one actually.
That I do see a little bit.
Okay. All right.
That one I don't think. I think the second photo comparison was your best one.
Yeah,
guys. We got another Streamlabs donation a little bit ago. Just have to point it out. Definitely Ben Bateman. It's definitely Ben Bateman.
Definitely.
And not like 3 Jacob Tremblays in a trench coat trying to get into Mortal Kombat.
I think it might be 3 Jacob Tremblays.
Definitely Ben Bateman said donated $5 and said, "Cast me, damn it. I wear sunglasses all the time. Drew threw me through a table. I got to audition."
You know, I will say definitely Ben Bateman would be a great casting choice for Johnny Cage. Where he wears some great sunglasses.
Or Brendan Meyer.
Brendan Meyer
and probably not like 3 Jacob Tremblays in a fucking trench coat.
Or Snyder.
Can I help
10-year-old
Chance? So little there. That's so great.
So we're going to go ahead and sign off, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite photo. Okay, before this gets really off the rails, Danny, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Chat Mortal Kombat, one of our favorite topics on the show. Where can the lovely people of the internet find you?
You can find me personally at Echo Spider, ECKO on Twitter. You can find my podcast, Next Issue Podcast, at Next Issue Pod, or we just got our personalized domain on YouTube a couple weeks ago. Thanks to everyone. So youtube.com/C/Next Issue Podcast.
Nice.
Very nice. And Jesse, when you're not out laughing Dan Burl in the free-for-all, where can people find you?
That's true. That's a thing that happened. And
it happened.
I will die happy now. Thank you, Bibbs, for making that a thing. So I just thought this is the easiest way for people to see it. It's Flick and Reel. because spelling it out just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's where you find me on YouTube, and I have a big, the biggest video I've ever done coming out on Saturday.
Tell me about it.
It's the sequel to 2021's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. It is my birthday / we just passed 100 subscribers, so we'll get our URL also, and then also it's an engagement fundraiser because we're all super broke and this wedding is ridiculously expensive. So we're not as great and wonderful as these people here, but at least a couple of them will be on there to talk about wedding experiences, talk maybe about Mortal Kombat, talk about movies and stuff. We're going to have trivia on there. We're going to have games. I got like at least 20 guests coming on. It's going to be huge. So my cat is literally on my whiteboard right now. So that's where we're at, guys. Please help us get to 200 by the time we hit September. That would be awesome. We've already surpassed any of my old channels. So that's cool.
And
awesome.
Yeah, Bethany and I will be there.
I think I just got invited this moment, Jesse. So I hope you're okay with me crashing. I don't think I was invited.
I assumed it was a twofer. That was my intention.
Oh, it's a 2-for-1 deal. All right, sweet.
We will be there on Saturday.
We'll give you wedding.
Me and the high school stoners will be there from the bathroom.
Yeah.
I will be not on the stream, but I'll be in the chat smoking weed with the juice.
You'll be in the bathroom with me.
Why don't we promote next week?
Yeah, big one.
Oh, yeah.
It is literally our high holy day next week, y'all. It is May the 4th. It's Star Wars Day. It's our 2-year engagement anniversary. 2 years ago, we got engaged on May 4th. My favorite May 4th that's ever happened, personally. And we will be having a big Star Wars love fest because if we are all about one thing, there's a lot of negativity sometimes in the Star Wars fandom, but overall, I find it's a very positive place to hang out, and we'll be spreading that positivity and the love because it's Star Wars Day, and we will have many special guests dropping in and out throughout the evening. Anyone that can't make it might be sending some special videos, and we will just be geeking out about why Star Wars is the best thing ever in history.
So let me say this: we're inviting very many people online on to join us, and everyone who can join.
Hop in, say hi.
Certain people included, but let me give 2 who are joining. Marie Wilson and Gold Leader Emushkar are going to be online live.
How perfect.
So, but we're also going to be inviting anyone who wants to send a video, like a 30-second video, 45-second video, to just say it to us, or anybody who wants to just join us on that stream, shoot us a message and we'll bring you on. So,
it's a full and open house.
It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so open-ended. It's all just why we love Star Wars.
Now, spell that for me.
Tim Notes not available. Sorry.
Everyone, just remember to, subscribe, all that jazz that YouTube people have to say. Yeah. And I think there's no better way to end this than Juice. Can you play us out on the guitar with that sweet Mortal Kombat?
All right, so we got like 15, 20 seconds before it happens.
Everyone get ready to dance.
Jesse, get ready to dance. Danny, get ready to dance.
It's going to be so good.
Because this is happening. The greatest theme song of all time.
It's up there. Anyway, top 5. There's some good ones out there, but it's top 5.
Wait.
Hit me with a juice. On the guitar. It's happening.
Mortal Kombat!
Liu Kang!
Cisco Mike.
What the show? And that's what the acid hits.
Yeah.
And this is where we leave you alone.